Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make sure as you're joining that you're liking for the algorithm. Please make sure that you're liking, share with a friend, copy the link. What does it take for you to copy the link real quick? Send it to a friend, send it to a group chat, send it to a few friends. Post it on your page, maybe. Let's have a convo. Let's have a convo. What we gonna talk about? There's a lot going on. Jason Whitlock over here. You got Jason Whitlock beefing with Stephen A. Seems like Cat Williams, he got some people amped up. He got me amped up with that energy, that truthful energy. Got a lot of other people nervous, it seems like. The truth will either, I don't know, maybe it'll set you free regardless, but could definitely make you a little uncomfortable. What's up, Sharon? I think we got a video from the video that you sent that we're going to discuss today. A dope video about the part of the brain getting larger when we challenge ourselves and overcome those challenges. So appreciate you sending that over. Where's my notes at? Where my notes at? We doing no notes today? Y'all don't want that. We'll go from talking about aliens to I don't know, a whole bunch of other weirdo stuff that goes through my brain. Grand Rising. What's up, Ja? Grand Rising, good people. Happy Friday. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, this thing all crooked. Got mine. Going so low. I don't know. We're a little uneven. It looks like. Maybe it's just the way I'm sitting. Who knows? It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's wrap this up. All right, man. What's good with y'all, man? What's good? What's going on today? What's the energy in the room? Like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on. You know what's funny? It's funny. I'm seeing Ja's name. Sometimes I'm going through videos or somebody sends me videos and somebody that one of y'all will either like it or like, let's say, comment on a post, and I'll see I'm like, they like this. And I was just laughing to myself. I think there's a post today that we're going to touch on that it said that you liked. It was sent over to me from Shy, so maybe y'all was on the same page, Ja. But what's up, everybody? Good to see y'all. Good to have y'all tapped in as always. I was getting ready to change this to a feel good Friday, but it is what it is. Y'all know what we do on Fridays. Making it a feel good. It is going to be a feel good Friday. I think it'll still be a feel good Friday, but we're going to talk about the real, and everything may not necessarily make us feel good, but we will always walk away with hopefully some challenges to ourselves and some realistic expectations of how we can all do better in our individual lives to impact overall society, right? That's the goal. And last time I actually didn't touch on I mentioned it as far as us living in some amazing times, but I really do believe that. I think that especially when you're a sports person, when do you want to look at the game? You want to look at the game at the end. You know, when it's most exciting is when it comes down to the fourth quarter or overtime, when it's a close game. We don't know what's going to happen. We have a sense of what will happen, but here we are at the end of the game and nobody knows it's up for grabs. That's where we are right now in society. And maybe we've always been there, and maybe the urgency is just showing up a little bit greater now because we are in the now. So maybe that's just what happens. But the reason why I was saying that we live in some amazing times, when you think about it, like if you are, even if you're above this age, I was thinking about, people around my age, 30s, mid 30s, 40s, whatever. Mid 30s, yeah. Mid 30s, 40s. I'm still mid 30s, but mid 30s, 40s. But even, I'm thinking about my parents' generation as well. When you think about the things that we've lived through or we've had the privilege to be a part of, some things may have been, not necessarily as privileged to be a part of, but when you look at it, you look at we lived through Michael Jordan, we saw Magic, MJ, Kobe, AI, LeBron, Melo, D-Wade, all these people, Steph, Giannis. Now it's like, who is it? Ja Morant and Luka. We've lived through all these people, and that's just obviously a sports example. But when you look at the internet, cell phones, Wi-Fi, texting, it allows us to really appreciate the moment that we're in now, and probably time. Maybe when I say urgency earlier, what I meant to say is that it just seems that things are moving so fast right now that whatever it is that we're approaching, we're picking up steam as we're getting there, rather than how it used to feel maybe previously, to where things were moving a little bit slower. But I want us to see the positive in that, not the negative. Want us to see the positive. What's up, big bro? The positive in the fact that we are playing the game. We are in the game in one of the clutchest moments of the history of this country. This is the clutch. This is the crunch time. This is where we love Kobe's mentality, the Black Mamba and all that other stuff of being willing to take the shot at the game. This is where Brady comes in and locks in on Brady mode. This is what we're living in right now. This is what we're living in right now. It's crucial times, but if we embrace them and if we understand how we can impact them in the best way, however you're looking at that, whether that's for you, for your village, for humanity, however it may be, we all have an opportunity to make an impact on the game. And that's where I think we are. I think a lot of us, whether that's, and every role is needed. Every role is needed. It's not just the person. Everybody obviously can't have the ball in their hands at the end of the game to take the last shot. But that does not mean that there's not an impact that we can make. Somebody may have to be the one to set the screen for Kobe to get open, for Mike to get open. Somebody may have to notice something on the sideline. They didn't even get in the game, but they saw that every time we run this play, they respond to it in this way, and that there's therefore an opening if we're able to combat what they've been doing the entire game. Somebody can notice that. There's a role for everybody to be played, and everybody can be impactful, but I think that everybody has to look at their role from a very intentional standpoint. It can't just be as a spectator. We got to be in on this one. Even if you're just a fan and you're just buying the pay-per-view and that's your way of supporting, cool. Just pay for it. Support it. Get the message out there, whatever it may be. Spread news on the platform so we can get as many eyes to whatever messaging we need in order to elevate in different areas. That's where we are. A lot of times people think that we don't matter, my vote doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. And in some instances, it may not. In some instances, it may not. However, if we are intentional and we force whatever it is that we are participating in, we force it to matter, then it will matter. It will matter. So that's where we are. It's a great place to be. Who knows what the next newest technology that's developed with Elon Musk or whoever else decides to develop. Speaking of Elon, damn. Tesla, great time to buy. It's a great time to buy. A little nervous if you been holding, but Tesla stock is definitely on sale. And like I told y'all before, I'm willing to bet it all on Elon, and I kind of put my money where my mouth was, and now I got to sit there right now and just wait until we can bounce back. So hopefully this will be a good day for Tesla. But getting back to the overall point, it's great times that we're living in, and we should understand that and appreciate it, and make sure that the best way for us to appreciate it is to be very intentional with the influence and impact we can make at this point in the game. So that's where I wanted to leave y'all. All right, boom, boom, boom. What are we going to start with today? What are we going to start with today? We're going to touch on Cat Williams, and he had a couple comments on Willie D's interview. Maybe that's a good one to start with. We got some Kanye. We got this Muda Buraka video, and we got a couple questions on, some of the immigrants that are coming in right now, some of the care and benefits that they're getting. Well, meanwhile, a lot of people in this country aren't necessarily getting it. So we're just gonna have some good discussions, So let me actually see what we will start with, and I think a good one to start with is this Cat Williams at this exact point. All right, so let's take a look at this. So this was an interview that Cat Williams did with Willie D. And to be totally honest, I think this interview, I may have said it on the last show, this interview is more important than Shannon Sharpe's interview. Shannon Sharpe's interview, dope, amazing, got all the views. But this particular interview, we actually get to see Cat Williams break down how he thinks, his perspective on a lot of things, how he sees the world, how he sees himself, and a little bit more insight on why he may say some of the things and move the way that he moves. So we'll start off with this. Let me put this phone on silent, and let me share this screen. And we're gonna start with Cat. Are y'all? What are y'all? Are y'all? Well, I ain't gonna say pick no sides when it comes to Cat. Are y'all believing what Cat's been saying, or are you more so along the lines where it's like, yeah, he may be gassing a little bit? I've seen mixed reviews, but let's take a look at this video and go from here. Hold on, they need to adjust. I need to adjust. Let me back.
30 minutes one night in Houston, and I never seen anybody else do that but you. Like 25, I mean, just back to back, gut busting, like same person,
Right.
no cuss words.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before. So how were you able to maintain your composure for that long?
Well, a very interesting thing happens when you try to trap something that's bigger than your trap. So
Did a bad, and you didn't. I don't think
a problem.
I want to go
you
back
have,
a little
you're
bit
gonna
more.
Deal with that problem.
Hold on, right here.
Then where it
very big thing that
to
he's
an
touching on,
extent,
and I just want us to hear.
to the utmost.
Hold on. Willie D's asking him pretty much why people relate to him so much.
And appealing about being transparent to an extent.
Oh, not just to an extent, to the utmost. As soon as you as a person decide that you're not gonna lie anymore, and that whatever problem that you have, you gonna deal with that problem right then where it presents itself.
Mm.
It'll show you a whole new side of you. It's very important. It's very important. When
Yeah. I don't know if y'all are there, but that's exactly where I am in life. Exactly where I am in life. It's becoming harder and harder for me to ignore certain things that I know I can have an impact on. And even if I can't directly impact, it's still an impact. It's still setting the tone for somebody else or whoever may be looking at me, whatever it may be. A lot of times we've become so comfortable lying to ourselves, lying to everybody else, justifying certain things that we know are not justifiable, agreeing to certain things that we know don't align with our morals, honor, integrity. But we do it because I need this job, because I need this, or because that's my friend, because this is this, because this person may be able to put me in a position to receive some blessings, whatever it may be. We excuse a lot. And in my opinion, this is just for me, whenever I make those decisions, and I'm a very, I feel like I've done a very good job. I don't feel like I do a very good job of observing it and understanding why I may be feeling a certain type of way going into an important decision. I'm standing on principles. And it's not because I'm a special person or this or that. It's because I realized a while ago that I become very uncomfortable and I can't stand myself the more I let something go, excuse something, or make a decision based on not being the stand-up person that I strive to be. So telling myself, being honest with myself first and foremost, that goes without saying. And I know we've all been in these positions. It's very easy. A lot of times my dad tells me, a lot of times we consult with convenience. We consult with our own convenience. What's convenient for me right now? Not what's the best decision for me overall. Not what's the best decision for, not what's the most honorable, what's the most righteous. It's what's convenient. And when you think about it, think to the last show. It was Hate Me Now, Love Me Later. A lot of the things that we hate doing now, those are the things that we love and embrace later. This is no different. But consulting with our convenience, that's a moment thing. That's a short-term thing. That's not building upon who we believe that we are. And we may think that we can excuse it, but in all actuality, we're held accountable by that, by the universe. So when we make certain decisions by consulting with our convenience that we don't feel or that we know are dishonorable, that we know don't align with our principles, we're projecting those things to now come back our way. So even if we don't get a slap on the wrist, even if we don't get in trouble, or even if we feel like nobody else notices, the universe picks up on that, and that's energy that we're putting out there, and we're projecting a certain thing, so certain things are going to come back our way. It just is what it is. So I'm telling you from a selfish standpoint, I'm not just at a point where I'm not lying to myself, and I'm putting the truth out there. Now, you can be benevolent, you can be compassionate, but the truth is the truth. And sometimes the best way to be benevolent and compassionate is to just be as direct as possible at all times. There. So that's kind of, sorry to go off on a tangent, but y'all should know what I do by now. But let's listen to Kat.
it'll show you a whole new side of you. It's very important. It's very important. When you lie and allow lies, for some people it's just, oh, I'm just a little delusional. No, it's dangerous for you to do that to yourself. It's very unnecessary for you to.
You was on this radio station
What
in
you on?
Atlanta, and this host made a joke about you, and you ate a like you killed a man like for like I don't know how long that was, but man, I was like time out, you know, call the police, something, you know.
Did
Stop
y'all
this
see that
stuff.
when he was clowning
Man,
old girl? Maybe I'll
really,
put that
I mean, you
video
really
on.
did a bad.
She tried to set him up.
I don't think
Hold
you
on.
cursed one time.
I was just going to say.
yeah.
I was going to say, be very careful when
Yeah.
you say how badly I did
No,
her,
no,
because I never called her out
I
of
know,
her name.
but that's what I'm saying.
I was very composed.
That's my point.
But let me explain
You're
it. Let me
one
give you
of
the
the few-
exclusive.
No, let me make the point.
Okay.
You're one of the few like only you and Bruce I've ever seen do that before. Like destroy a heckler or someone that was challenging you or whatever. Destroy them like I mean for like several minutes. I mean Bruce killed this chick for about I don't know, man, about 25, 30 minutes one night in Houston. And I never seen anybody else do that but you. Like 25, I mean, just back to back, gut busting, like same person,
right.
no cuss words.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before. So how
Listen
were
to
you
what-
able
listen to his
to
response.
maintain your composure?
This is what this
For that
is
long?
the energy for 2024.
Well, a very interesting thing happens when you try to trap something that's bigger than your trap. So imagine you set out a trap for a turtle and a rhinoceros steps into it. It's finna be a whole different situation now. So this lady behind the scenes is begging me to come into this interview that I've not scheduled, that I don't want to do, that I'm not dressed for, that nobody's called me about. She just wants it. To the point where she says, Kat, come on, you just want to end me for the city. I just want to give you your flowers. Well, I won't talk about kids. I won't talk about no jail. I won't talk about... This is the conversation she has with me, and then goes in that room and doesn't mention the Emmy and immediately begins to... Because this is a comedian. You're trying to undermine me. Atlanta is a...
I should show y'all the full video, but that's the main takeaway that I wanted to get from that video. The two things, you know, being honest with yourself, and then understanding that when you are honest, there's going to be things that there's going to be challenging situations that we put ourselves in just based on standing on truth, just based on standing on principle. People are going to try to set us up, just like this lady tried to set him up in certain instances. It's going to come. But if your energy, like a trap only works, like what he just said, a trap only works when an animal that you're expecting to walk into the trap walks into it. When you set out a trap for a turtle and a rhinoceros shows up, it's a totally different energy. That's being over prepared. That's understanding what's going to come from us standing on these principles, values, integrity that we talk about. But being prepared to deal with it, just like he said, in that moment at that exact time. Two things: being truthful, I'm not lying anymore, and any problem that comes my way, I'm going to deal with it right then and there. Period. So I thought that was dope. I think a lot of stuff's going to come from what Kat's talking about and the energy that he's had. And you could tell he's making a lot of people nervous. So we're going to transition a little bit over to one of the videos that I saw on Instagram. I think Shah sent this video. Fridays, y'all know we bounce around. Fridays, we bouncing around. Hopefully won't get caught up on any one video for too long. But this chick, Sunny, this is the video I was talking about, Ja. So we're going to listen to, Sunny is a lady on The View, if you're not familiar. I don't know her last name. What is it? Sunny Hostin, I think. Hostin, Sunny Hostin, whatever.
In 2016,
Want to get y'all thoughts on this. I want to get y'all thoughts.
when Joe Biden issued that video, 2020 rather, and he said, "I'm running to save the soul of this country." It resonated with me in a way that I never thought it would. And that's how he got my vote, as everybody knows. Because I
got to stop it right then and there. Matter of fact, I'm going to run the video back. Y'all tell me, look at the video, the first 5 seconds of it.
in 2016, when Joe Biden issued that video, 2020 rather, and he said, "I'm running to save the soul of this country." It resonated with me in a way that I never thought it would. And that's how he got my vote, as everybody knows.
Am I confused? How do we get to a point? This is what I mean when we have to be more intentional. And I'm going to play the whole video, but I'm going to, pick it apart as I'm moving. What's good, Queez? I'm running to save the soul of this country. That's what got your vote. A person just saying that they're going to do something. This is what I mean when I say we fall for the okie doke all the time. It's all pastor talk. And this is specifically, actually, I would say specifically to Black people, but I think, like, when you look at it, a lot of the problems that we've identified as Black problems and problems in the Black community, they're actually becoming American problems. But specifically, as y'all know, when it comes to politics, I think Black people as a group have just fallen for the okie doke time after time after time. And all these candidates do, whether it's Bill Clinton, whether it's Barack, whether it's Biden, whoever is the Democrat running at the time, all they do is study a Black pastor, study a speech from a Black pastor, and make an emotional connection based on the fear that Black people have in a particular area. She didn't start off saying, like, oh, when Joe Biden did this, or when I found out that he did this early in his career and he stood on this, or when he challenged this particular area that we're suffering from. That's what made me that's what made me give him my support. She just said when he said that he's running to save the soul of this country. Like, what? Like, how did, well, okay, if that resonated, did it also resonate when he said that you're not Black unless you vote for me? Laughing it off when people are asking him does he feel that he needs to do something actually this time for Black people rather than do what Democrats do the entire time? Like, this is it to me in so many ways is so embarrassing how we fall for this okie doke of emotions that just play on our fears. Oh, because Trump's in office. So our country's soul, just based on Trump, has been ruined. Okay. Let's just continue with the video. My fault. I got a couple Queez came in. Shout out to Queez. To Big Bro wrote, "Stupid people fall for stupid things. It's easy to get stupid mouses to follow the flu." Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching because maybe I'm missing something.
I can, switch around candidates that I like or not. And when I listen to "We're going to save our democracy," I start thinking, well, unfortunately, you didn't really save the soul of this country because we're more divided now than we ever were. And I start thinking, well, then our democracy is really at risk. So those two things can exist at the same time, right? So stay with me here. What we're seeing by the Republican Party, and I give it to them, we're seeing a long game. We're seeing that they are dismantling or attempting to dismantle institutions. All of a sudden, the most elite colleges and universities in the world, which...
let's be clear. If and this is the problem with so many of these people, they look at it out of one lens. They hold one side accountable. When you only hold one side accountable, the Democrats and the Republicans ain't shit. Neither one of them. Just accepting that rather than rooting for one, like I always tell y'all, like it's, oh, this is my hometown team. No, it's not. It's a group that does not care about you, that is almost paired against each other to confuse us, to keep the real powers that be in power, and to get us confused fighting amongst each other. If we were really worried about the advancement of our people, common sense would just say to start a third party. Whenever you have two polar opposite ends, right? You can only have opposites with two different things. We can only be on polar opposites when there's two different things. But when you add a new one in which we know what it would be a little bit more moderate conservatives, a little bit more moderate Democrats, people that are in the middle. That's how we reach a logical checks and balance system. Because they know that side can't go too much over there with the BS, and that side over here can't go too much over here, if they really cared. They don't. They don't.
By the way, they all went to.
And this is what I want to comment. When she says the Republicans are playing the long game, stop it. If you were able to look at this, the Democrats with that same lens, and you would understand that the Democrats are playing the long game. And guess what? It's to people that look like you, Sonny. Yes, from light skin to you, to me, to the darkest skinned person. The Democrats are realizing that we are no longer supporting them. That's why they are welcoming in all the immigrants. This is common sense. That is the long game. Even if those people that come in illegally cannot vote, their kids will be able to vote. And who do you think they're going to vote for? The people that said keep them out, or the people that welcome them in? Give them greater benefits than the people that are here have. Or the same, right? This is the long game, but when you only look at one side, you're only going to see, I think a video that we're going to play later, when you look for certain things, you see certain things.
Everybody in the Supreme Court went there. Elise Stefanik went there. All the Congress people went there. Ted Cruz went there. Those schools are not good enough anymore because now people that don't look like them were getting in. Affirmative action, no more. Why? So that people that don't look like them don't get in. Women don't have reproductive rights.
You see what they try to do? They try to break, like I have to break down her entire argument. She's arguing, no, affirmative action does not work. It lowers the standards of a certain group of people to get a reward that would normally be a higher standard, but it's adjusted based on y'all feeling that these people have been mistreated. Nowhere does it show that that is what helps that other group climb the ladder. We see it all the time. Exactly her example that she's talking about with the schools. Because black kids do not have to have as high of a GPA getting into a school like Harvard as the white kids, and then the Asian, their average scores are even higher on the SAT. What ends up happening now when you let them compete and you're not boosting them up? This is the reason why a lot of kids that go to these schools, when they're accepted with lower GPAs and SAT scores, they're on academic probation their first year, and now they're falling behind and they're not even getting the academic experience in order that that will benefit them for their careers after college. No, affirmative action, anything that lowers standards, there's a reason why this isn't done in sports. It's no, oh, well, yeah, we're going to give this person extra credit for this sport because their people or something happened to their people, so therefore we're going to give them extra points during the game. No, it doesn't happen. Because sports is probably the closest thing that we have to just not even, but a fair playing field. things will never be even. They're confusing you and playing games with y'all, even dangling that in front of us. Two totally different things, but let's keep going. Affirmative action lowers the standards. To improve any group in anything, you have to raise their standards. It is what it is. And if they're not raised to a certain point to get into this school, then you should not get in. Because I'll tell you who it benefits. It benefits the school. It doesn't benefit the actual student when you have the diversity. It benefits them so they can brag about their quota. They can brag about this and that. But in all actuality, it's detrimental to your development because you get into this school that you're not equipped to be in, and you fall behind. You get on academic probation, and it hinders your ability to learn at that particular institution.
Anymore over their own bodies. Why? So they can have power over women. Why is...
Oh my God. We got to talk about every point. Okay, hold on. Let me catch up with these comments. Remind me that she's talking about the abortions. In school, they teach the kids about politics, and what they teach is how to associate with a candidate. Names start with the same letter. In school, they teach the kids about politics, and what they teach is how to associate with a candidate. Names start with the same letter. We like the same color. Okay. They don't focus on action or platform. They actually teach them to associate emotionally with the candidate. It's the curriculum. We have to understand what's happening to us. This is a weapon that is being used against our children. And it's as if we don't care, or maybe because it was used against us, we're kind of like, oh, well, this is just I don't know. Is this the rite of passage to get finessed emotionally into making bad decisions that are detrimental to our people? Is that a rite of passage? I'm confused. Queez, yes, this victim mentality. I don't understand it. And then she's talking about the abortions. Why do this right to do with my reproductive organs? Yo, let's be honest, bro. Even if we've had abortions, ladies had abortions, fellas been in, your girl, or you participated in it. That's why I'm saying we've had abortions. You know damn well that's not right. Come on now. Can we just exercise some common sense here? There's nothing positive when we think about abortions. We're not saying like, oh, this is a positive thing for humanity. Let's abort these babies. Now, of course, in particular situations, now everybody brings up the extreme, the 0.0001%, right? Why do we bring up the extreme? To set precedent for the rule. You get what I'm saying? The rule is the majority of people, right? The extreme is the extreme, the outliers. So what will everyone, well, if somebody gets raped, you're telling me that they should be forced to have a baby. Why don't we establish something cool? I'm cool with rape. You can have abortion. But let's just be honest here. Without getting into all the particulars of this stuff, abortions are not really that good. They're just not good, right? And even me saying not really that. No, abortions are not good. It's not positive for humanity. But of course, when you lower the standard, what ends up happening? Oh, abortions, it's no problem. Because we've lowered the standard for them. It's like when you don't look at something as a problem, you're not going to see it as a problem. When everybody's telling you that, oh, no, abortion's fine. What do we think our kids are going to do? They're going to be a little bit less responsible sexually and protecting themselves so they don't get pregnant or get somebody pregnant because they know that we just get an abortion, if shit hits the fan. I don't need to pull out. What did the videos talk about before? Bailing out, right? Pearl was talking about. When you continuously bail people out of situations, they do not learn to be more responsible. You're lowering their standards, so therefore you're making them less than what they were in whatever area that you're deciding to lower their standards in. It's not about like I never would have thought that. Think about it. Would you ever have thought that we get to a point where literally there's a large portion of women and people in America, men as well, fighting to have abortions? Like that would be one of the top things that we're arguing about? If you just sat down and talked to a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, an 18-year-old, well, I don't know about now, 18-year-olds, because they've been indoctrinated so much in the schools. But if you just talk to somebody and be like, yo, are abortions good for humanity? Or should we try to figure out a way to have a little bit less of them? Like every common sense would say that. So the fact that we even are, like, it's insane to me. It's insane, but it's just another example of, well, if this side's all the way over here, I'm going to be as far over there. And it ends up misleading and being super dangerous because things just get more and more extreme rather than just being logical and using common sense. But this is why they do not want a third party. Because a third party would just say exactly what I'm saying. Like, yeah, this just doesn't make any sense. Let's figure out a way to lower these abortions, all right? And then, of course, when you do the deep dive into Planned Parenthood, who's behind it, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, all this other stuff, then we start to understand, oh, the people that talk about depopulation all the time, those are the ones that actually get paid off of having abortions. I see a connection there. Common sense. Tafari wrote, I say we move to the extreme like women have been asking for. Incantation. Grow kids in the lab. What's incantation mean? Hold on, I gotta look that up. Grow kids in the lab and give the women, give the women that think it's so unfair to them, their own damn land, and tell them to F off. Hold on, I gotta look up that word. Incantation. I don't do this when y'all come across a word. Y'all just act like y'all know what it is. Incantation meaning. Incantation, a series of words said as a magic spell or charm. Oh, I'm adding that to the vocab. Good luck, big bro. All right, so let's keep going.
French and Mandarin and Spanish being taken away from our public schools so that we can be a monolithic.
French and all this other. Sonny, yo, hold on. This is specifically for black people and white people that care. I shouldn't even say just specifically for black people, but damn, when it happens to you, it's just kind of crazy. Can y'all hear me out on this? In our major cities with majority of black people, Baltimore, Chicago, New Orleans, whatever, kids can't read English. Kids can't write English. I'm not exaggerating. Look at the stats that came out with Chicago students reading at grade level. Look at the stats in Baltimore. It's literally like, it's almost, I don't even want to, like 0%. Kids can't read, and she's up here on TV complaining about French and Mandarin or whatever else she said being taken out of the schools. Kids can't read English. This is why it's so dangerous when we get people that sit up on their high horse that are not in touch with reality, that have probably been benefiting their entire lives from looking how she looks, light skinned and pretty. Let's just be honest. She has no sense of reality. You're talking about taking Mandarin and French out of schools when kids can't read. Entire cities of kids cannot read at reading level. Do you understand? Do y'all see how we fall for these okie dokes? Let's keep going.
A monolingual society and can't compete globally. We, the Republicans, are intentionally dumbing down our electorate, erasing history so that past.
Republicans are dumbing down our electorate. I don't know about y'all, but if you supported Barack Obama, if you supported Joe Biden, to me, there's not, if you voted for Biden, then I don't see how you could feel any dumber right now. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we fell for the dumbing down based on the people who said things to us that we want to hear in a sweet way, right? With Barack, right? He just, oh, I like him and Michelle, the way they dress. He's so cool. Bill Clinton, oh my God, like he just speaks so nice. He's the first black president and he got an office in Harlem. Oh my God. Joe Biden said that he's running to save the soul of our country. And then he told us that, oh, we're asking him what he's going to do for black people and for people that are saying that the Democrats haven't traditionally done anything for blacks. And his response is, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Do you not see that as dumbing down a group of people? Or in matter of fact, not even dumbing down, insulting to the point where they don't even feel that they need to even dumb us down maybe anymore. They don't even spend time dumbing us down anymore, perhaps. Like, and tell me, please tell me if I'm off, because I do not understand. This is the danger in these damn daytime shows with women that are at home all day watching this goofy shit. This is dangerous.
Can become prologue, and so they can remain.
Listening to The View dumbs you down. And she's talking about dumbing down the electorate. Hearing y'all speak dumbs me down.
In power. And it's grievance politics at its best. And it's because people see what Sarah was saying. I can't pay my electric bill. My gas bill's high. I need my food. And why is that? Why is my station in life like this? It's because that black guy got into Harvard and became president. Or it's because that immigrant is over there doing better than driving a nicer car than I'm driving.
No, this is what happens. I'm gonna give y'all a quick little story. Heidi, my partner, who always calls while we're doing the show, right? Her mother fell. Her mother is 99, walking around, broke a rib, fractured a rib maybe a few months ago, was already back on her feet, moving around the house, active. But then she just fell and broke her hip, had to have hip surgery. A lot of people say that, especially at that age or even younger, once you break your hip, that's pretty much it, right? No. That's what they say. They had initially told her that her mother could only get 2 weeks of therapy because, oh, well, she was in the hospital a few months ago, and she got therapy, so therefore she's not allowed to have any more therapy. She just has to be in the home. Compared to getting 3 months of therapy. They said, no, only 2 weeks. That's all she's eligible for. She's been here. Her daughter pays taxes, all this stuff. Didn't come here illegally. This is what people are complaining about. The fact that because we're doing everything for everybody else, but not taking care of our home, the people that are already citizens. If we have all this money to welcome in all these people and to entice them to come, because they're being enticed to come illegally. And we got everything ready for y'all. We'll put up as much money as we need. If we got money for that, where's the money to solve all these other issues? The issues of the actual taxpayers. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? That's what people are complaining about, but leave it to her. Leave it to Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith. He like they pay these people to spew these ignorant, silly messages where Stephen A was up there talking about, maybe I'll get the clip, saying like, if they pretty much saying, I don't even want to, I'm just paraphrasing it, but that be careful of these laws with illegal immigrants. Be careful because it was something where you can ask somebody for ID or something like that. Be careful because next they're going to be doing this to black people. And like, it's just, the fear mongering is at an all-time high. This is why people are upset, because this country does not take care of home, but wants to deal with everybody else's issues. And then you got the Democrats that want to welcome people illegally. It's illegal. There are legal means of getting into the country that people, there's people that I know that legally came in on a visa or whatever else, and now because of their situations, they got to go back. Meanwhile, people who came in illegally, yo, y'all are good. Come chill, kick it. Here's all these benefits. Like what are we, am I missing
Grievance
something?
politics, but culture wars specific. And I wish people could see it in that way, because this is not by accident. And in 2016, when Joe Biden issued
it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because remember a while ago I told y'all we're in a cool war of what's cool. Well, to a lot of people, when you have a great production, you got a lot of great production budget with The View. When you are on TV and your hair looks nice, makeup's done professionally, you look cool. You look like you know what you're talking about. You're on TV. Of course, Whoopi Goldberg knows what she's saying. Didn't you hear all the people clapping in the background? This is who we're competing against. This is who Cat Williams is talking about. Like, I'm not, these people get paid to lie to us, to manipulate us. And shame on us for not seeing it. She's just another example. It's not just her. But what do? They get in she's an intelligent, isn't she an attorney or something like that? Intelligent, pretty, light-skinned black woman to get up here and sound professional, sound like she knows exactly what she's saying, right? She knows, she's done her research and all this. I'm going to say this. I had a conversation. Matter of fact, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it. Ladies, I got a question. I asked somebody this over the last week or so. I said, when you have conversations and it's just women in the group that you're having a conversation with, whether on your group message or in person, I said, what do y'all talk about? I said, what do you think? Like are the conversations like compared? She's like, well, what do you mean? We talking about this, not defensive at all. And I said, when you compare those conversations to the conversations that have men in them, is there a difference, do you think, in a lot of the things that y'all discuss, or is there not a difference? And we ended up having a convo where the takeaway was that in her conversations with, when it was only women, her words, not mine, I'm just paraphrasing, they're talking about silly stuff that doesn't really matter. I just asked. So I'm asking the ladies. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the ladies on here probably don't even have groups of just group messages with just their girls and talk. I don't know. But to me, when I had that conversation, I just realized that most of the time, and you know why, what made me see it is because I start to see it amongst men. Where it's like the more feminine and emasculated men, when you get them in a group, they're talking about stuff that doesn't matter, has no purpose. It's not solving any particular problem. It's just gossip. This is just my own observation. That's why I'm asking. I'm not saying that, oh, just because I had a conversation with one person, that's the case with everybody else. But I'm asking. Because maybe them, since they say they need some DE&I and all this other stuff, maybe they need some men on The View. Maybe their show needs to be more inclusive. I don't feel like I'm included in who they're talking to. So maybe they should add some men. Let me get off that because I don't even want to get into that. But that was a serious question for the ladies that are here. I want to know, compare when you think about your conversations that it's just your girls compared to conversations that you're in with men. Do you talk about the same things? That was my only question. And why am I not surprised? Shy, exactly what I just said. Yeah, you're right. I don't hang out with anyone. I think there's just certain types of, that's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if the women in this group chat don't have those type of like friendships and stuff like that. Social media gossip, but see, maybe people would be scared to say what I just said because it's going to come across as sexist. I don't care what it comes across. I'm asking because I want to make an observation, and I made an observation, and I want to know if my theory is correct. And I want to know, maybe more importantly, if it's not correct. Ja wrote, honestly, there are not many people, male or female, that I can converse with. The space that people's minds are in, I can't relate. And you want to know why I say? Because I think the ladies that are on here approach things from a more logical perspective and are not as consumed with BS as maybe the majority of our population, both men and women, are. But I've seen more and more of these conversations, and I always go back to the conversation, like our group message. I don't even really want to get engaged in a conversation that's not about something serious. I don't really care who won the game last night. I don't care what happened on Love and Hip Hop. I don't care about ignorant things happening that don't relate or just don't impact me in a serious way. There's just too many. It's almost as if, imagine being in a country where you're at war, like literally. Let's say you're in Middle East somewhere or Ukraine, wherever there's a war right now going on. Somewhere in Africa, wherever it may be, war. And somebody is more consumed with playing Call of Duty rather than going outside and fighting for your village. That's what I really feel like is going on in here. I'm like, hold up. Like, what? Like, bro, they're shooting outside. They're dropping bombs outside. And we are in the crib playing Call of Duty. Do y'all not feel that way? It's the strangest thing to me, but I don't know. Tafari wrote, there's no point adding men. They'll only act like victims and blame us for all their shortcomings, as well as the fact that they don't listen for shit. Sharon wrote, I'm trying to have friends, but I can't meet like-minded ladies. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Doug. That's another thing, yo. That's why, yo, I'll be honest, yo. It is so hard for me. And I always, like, I like the idea of going out and, like, grabbing drinks with my friends. I remember always looking at, what's the movie? Steve Harvey, based on Steve Harvey, Think and Grow, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, that movie. I remember them being at the bar, you know, after playing basketball and, like, just, you know, grabbing a beer at the bar. And I'm like, yo, that looks cool. Like, I can't wait until I do that. I used to really think that. Yo, I run from that. Like, yo, let's grab a drink. Nah, like, I'm good. Like, and it's not even like, it's just, I can't even necessarily put, like, exactly this is why I don't want to go, but it's just because it's trivial. Like, it's just like I'd rather do nothing by myself. I'm with y'all. The majority of people, like, I don't want to be around or have a conversation with. That's why I appreciate y'all. And I don't need to have conversations outside of this one. This is my mental health, where my mental health gets improved, because I'm able to have good conversations with y'all. Y'all can challenge me. I can challenge y'all. And It's just a conversation based on us evolving. And the fact that the very same people can be here like, yo, this is our group message. This is our interactive group message. I don't like talking to people like that are not like, hey man, like, yo, did you see that game? No, I didn't see that dumbass game. Like, and not to say that it's like, I shouldn't say it like that, but that's just, I don't know. All right, let's get to some more videos. What was I going to play? All right, so I don't know who sent this one over. You can claim it if it's yours. But
Black America, you are the only group. You are the only group that don't profile your wealth creators. You got 6 black billionaires out there. Can you tell me the 6? Oh, I don't know. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. Black America, how do you get up and look in the mirror in the morning knowing you only got 35,000 black millionaires? You almost got the same number of millionaires that Qatar has. You got about 35,000 millionaires in Qatar. You've got 34 million African Americans in the United States, and you barely have 900,000 people who live in Qatar. What are you doing? Black America, you are the only group. You are the only group.
Just a daily dose of accountability, nothing crazy, nothing that we don't already know. But I think it's just important to highlight the majority of these people. And you realize, and it's almost as if, I think what they used to do against us, when they used to try to throw that angry, you sound so angry. Yes. You know what's so funny? They used to throw that angry shit on black people. Angry black man, right? You sound so angry. But, and shame on us for, at that point, trying to pivot and not sound angry. Because they said I sound angry. Yo, people just try to, yes, you should be angry. Look around at what's going on right now in the world. Jewish people are angry right now. Palestinians are angry right now. Ukrainians, is that the right word? Ukrainians, they're like, people are angry. We need to get angry. We need to get angry. And I'm not just saying, and like I said, I'm trying to always make sure when I'm talking to black people, I'm talking to black people specifically. This is not just to black people. You want to know why? Because there's a lot of people. This is why not only black people need to hear this. When somebody like him says that and needs to hear my message, because there is a large population, I think, of white liberals that think they're doing the right thing to help black people. And I think a lot of it is a guilty conscience that's rooted in the history of what maybe has happened to our people, what that particular group or person feels that their particular group of people contributed to it. So there is a certain level of a guilty conscience there, but handouts ain't working. And a lot of times the best medicine, the best inspiration, motivation, the best strategy is to just shoot it to people straight and say, look, man, y'all had some stuff happen to y'all years ago. So what? Y'all got to figure it out. Could I help y'all? Yeah, but I just helped maybe 1 or 2 of y'all. It ain't really doing anything. It'd probably be more for it's just more so I could pat myself on the back and feel good about helping out the little Negroes, right? They can't do it on their own. We can't expect them to get a GPA and an SAT score the same way as Asian kids. They got to play basketball after school. They got to play football. They don't go home and their Asian parents sit them down and say, you're doing this homework, we don't care about sports. How can we expect them to compete in the classroom? They got to go do shit they're in the streets all day. How can we expect them? Be honest with kids. Be honest with yourself. You want to help black culture, you want to help black people, you want to help the friends in your black community, don't even address the kids. Find some of the middle-aged people. I told y'all this on the last show. Find some people that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that have developed all the tools and skills and attributes necessary to flourish. Help them build help them. You're working here. Now you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to do it for yourself as a business owner. That's who you help. Us bragging about, well, I contributed to these scholarships and yo, most people just do community service to make themselves feel better. It is what it is. There is a small population of people that really want to help. And if that's you, a lot of times the best help is no help and letting people know exactly why you're not getting any help. I'm not going to rob you of an opportunity to use you climbing out of that hole that you're in, the muscles that you're going to have to develop, both physically and mentally, to get out of that hole. Why would I rob you of that and pass down a ladder? Pass you down a ladder to where now you're going to have to compete. And those same muscles, because remember, we're already behind, right? So those same muscles that you could have developed to get out of that hole, both mentally and physically, that could have given you certain advantages over now the people that you're going to have to compete with. If I give you a ladder, now you just walk up, but now you got to go compete with lions. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So let's get into a couple more of these other videos. I got a dope, there was a dope post on this religious post that I want to share with y'all. Maybe we'll get into that. Hold on. So I saw this on my friend's page. I don't know if it's going to show her page. My homegirl Crystal's page from college. Shout out to Haas. And I thought that this was a dope story to read. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing. Maybe I will. All right, let me zoom in on this because I can't see. Hold on. Let me not say that. A pastor transformed himself into a homeless person and went to the church that he was to be introduced as the head pastor at that morning. He walked around his soon-to-be church for 30 minutes while it was filling with people for service. Only 3 people said hello to him. Most looked the other way. He asked people for change to buy food because he was hungry. Not one gave him anything. He went into the sanctuary to sit down in front of the church and was told by the ushers that he would need to get up and go sit in the back of the church. He said hello to people as they walked in, but was greeted with cold stares and dirty looks from people looking down on him and judging him. He sat in the back of the church and listened to the church announcements for the week. He listened as new visitors were welcomed into the church that morning, but no one acknowledged that he was new. He watched people around him continue to look his way with stares that said, "You are not welcome here." Then the elders of the church went to the podium to make the announcement. They said they were excited to introduce the new pastor of the church to the congregation. "We would like to introduce you to our new pastor." The congregation stood up and looked around, clapping with joy and anticipation. The homeless man sitting in the back stood up and started walking down the aisle. That's when all the clapping stopped and the church was silent. With all eyes on him, he walked up to the altar and reached for the microphone. He stood there for a moment and then recited so elegantly a verse from the Bible. "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me.' Then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?' The king will reply. Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of my brothers and sisters, you did for me. Whatever you did for the least of my brothers and sisters, you did for me." After he recited this, he introduced himself as their new pastor and told the congregation what he had experienced that morning. Many began to cry and bow their heads in shame. "Today I see a gathering of people here, but I do not see a church of Jesus. The world has enough people that look the other way. What the world needs is disciples of Jesus that can follow this teaching his teachings and live as he did. When will you decide to become disciples? He then dismissed service until the following Sunday as his sermon had been given. So if you look at this is a picture of what the pastor came in looking like. To me, this is a microcosm of our society in so many different ways. We live in a world where social media and what we project out on these social media platforms and a lot of times means more than reality. Think about it. Think about it. Think about all the opinions that we've listened to in the last week or so. Just going throughout the day, whether it's the news, whether it's this podcast that you listen to, whether it's an interview on YouTube, whether it's just somebody's Instagram, whatever it may be, you don't know that person. How many times do we look on Instagram? We're looking through our group of friends and we see somebody posting about how life is amazing, you got to live in peace and all this other stuff, when you know that that's one of the most violent people that you interact with. One of the most toxic, right? Isn't that the word that we like to use? Toxic person. Nobody is living in their truth. Let me rephrase that. Nobody's living the truth. Everybody's living in their own versions of the truth. Everybody wants to appeal and be a good person only when it benefits them the most. We are living in a society where integrity is at an all-time low. Honor, principles, morals, values, they're all at an all-time low. Why? Because fakeness and lies have been rewarded. We don't feel a reward from just doing the right thing. There's no reward. If people knew that people were looking at them, then they pick up trash, probably like, oh, let me pick this up. But in all actuality, if ain't nobody looking at you, you ain't doing that. You are who you are when nobody's looking, not when you get on camera. Most people are walking contradictions. And this story pointed this out. All the stuff that people are supposed to stand on with Christianity, all these different things. And this is just one example. I'm not trying to just attack the churchgoers, but we see it all the time. We see it all the time in every area. Hold on. Big Bro wrote, don't give me a ladder. Give me the blueprint to make the ladder. Facts. I'm a good person. I don't give bums shit because I don't want to deny them the opportunity to grow. It's a fact. Think about it. When most people do something for the homeless or all this other stuff, you're only doing it to make yourself feel better. Especially when we going around the holidays, we giving out turkeys and make sure that you put it on camera. You're not doing it for the person. In all actuality, bro, cut the camera, bro. You're embarrassing the people that got to stand there in line for toilet paper and turkeys. I don't know. Maybe some people will say, well, they need to be embarrassed. I don't think. Turn the camera off and just do some good. If that's really what you feel. But we live in a society where everything is rehearsed. Everything is plotted out, planned, and it's not planned on moving in a righteous cause. It's planned on how can I look as favorable as possible so therefore I can get opportunities for me and mine to get more and more of these material items that I'm seeking or this power. That's what it is. Queez wrote, that pastor was a G. Mic drop. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, all y'all people that look down on me, yeah, I remember y'all faces. I remember the fake righteousness that y'all want to live on, and I'm going to call it out. So I'm glad that this pastor did that. That's a pastor that I would love to sit down with. I would go to his church. I would hear his word. All right, so let's get to what's the next video we got for y'all. All right, so some of the dopest, this is one of the dopest things that I've seen on the internet. One of the dopest things, and I don't even know if I should say that. But the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat.
Get a damn job.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, Whoopi. I don't know. It has nothing to do with that, but shout out to Whoopi for the energy. The Miami Heat apparently waited until Eric Spoelstra's divorce was finalized before they gave him a record-breaking $120 million contract. Big fish shit. Let's clap it up for the Heat. It is what it is. I don't even know if nah. She can't get that. She can't get that. And you want to know why I'm clapping this up? I don't even know the exact situation, but I'm clapping it up because we live in a society where things are just too much. It's lopsided. It's too much on the side of the ladies where they're getting any and everything coming out of these type of situations. And this just warmed my heart. So y'all feel how y'all want to feel. This is what I'm on. All right, so let's get to this video.
They did an experiment where they told a group of women that they're going to put scarring on their faces or visual disfigurements of some kind. And then they would go into an interview. And the purpose of the experiment is to work out whether the interviewer is going to treat them differently because of their facial disfigurement. What they didn't tell the women is as they were leaving to go for the interview, they touched up their makeup and without showing them facial disfigurement, removed the scarring. So they went into the interview thinking they're facially scarred, but they weren't. And they came back reporting massive levels of discrimination, specific comments that the interviewer had made about them that they perceived. You see what you expect to see. This is why teaching people victimhood is so dangerous, because it makes them victims. They did an experiment where
so this is not a shot at women, even though when you hear the beginning, this is just an example. I don't take it as a shot at women. I take it as a shot as exactly what we were talking about earlier, and why victimhood is such a dangerous thing. Because if you teach people to look for something, hey, you know that these people gonna treat you like this. These people, we start projecting, and we see the world through the lens in which we've been convinced to see the world through. That's how we see it. That's what this video shows for me. I don't know what it shows y'all. Oh, Sharon sent this one. All right, so she sent it to, all right, my bad. I thought Sharon sent the other one. Well, Sharon sent another one that I thought was dope that we're going to probably play right after this. But this is just an example. It's almost, it's very obvious when we purchase certain cars. Buy a car or get interested in a car and then tell me how many times you think I'm the only one with this. And then you start saying like, yo, everybody got this damn car. It's the same thing. What we're looking for, we shall find. This is why they say never go in your girl or your dude's phone, right? You looking for something, you probably gonna find it. And there's a reason, maybe that, I don't know, whatever, it is what it is. Maybe that's a bad example, but to this point of this video, I think that this is what makes victimhood so dangerous, because a lot of people, and it's hard to convince people something other than, like, when you experience something, it's very hard for somebody else to budge you off of how you feel about your experience, because you're like, this is my truth. This is my truth. In all actuality, no, there's no my truth. There's just the truth. And if you're looking at something through a particular lens with a particular bias, you're going to see it in a totally different way than somebody else, or than you would see if you did not have that bias. If you did not think that, oh, well, all these people, they move like this, so before you even go into this situation, it's going to be a problem. This happens all the time. When, shoot, I tell y'all, sometimes when I'm walking in certain areas, straight face, you see somebody, I'm expecting them to maybe look at me a particular way. Now I'm looking at them a particular way, and then, you know what I mean? But then if you just smile, it's like, oh yeah, what up, bro? You see it. We can't allow people to paint over our lens. So therefore, we're seeing things from the perspective that they want to see rather than from the clarity that we should be seeing it. That's it. That's it. I ain't got nothing more for y'all for that one. Let me look. We only got a couple more videos and then we're going to wrap it up. So this one I thought was dope. This is, I believe this is the one that Sharon sent me. So maybe Sharon just sent this one to me directly. Far.
Most people don't know this, but there's a brain structure called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. When people do anything that they, and this is the important part, that they don't want to do,
Yes.
this brain area gets bigger. Now, here's what's especially interesting about this brain area to me. The anterior mid-cingulate cortex is smaller in obese people. It gets bigger when they diet. It's larger in athletes. It's especially large or grows larger in people that see themselves as challenged and overcome some challenge.
Right.
And in people that live a very long time, this area keeps its size. In many ways, scientists are starting to think of the anterior mid-cingulate cortex not just as one of the seats of willpower, but perhaps actually the seat of the will to live. Whoa, this is interesting. And all the data point to the fact that we can build this area up, but that as quickly as we build it up, if we don't continue to invest in things that are hard for us, that we don't want to do. Like if you love the ice bath, yeah, I love the ice bath, and you go from 1 minute to 10 minutes, guess what? Your anterior mid-cingulate cortex did not grow.
None.
But if you hate the cold water, if you're afraid of drowning and you get into water and put your head under and survive, then the anterior mid-cingulate cortex gets bigger. But if you don't do it the next day, or if you do it the next day and you enjoy it, because hey, I did it yesterday, woohoo. Guess what? The anterior mid-cingulate cortex shrinks again. Most people don't know this.
And I hadn't even looked at the entire video until just now. Sometimes I like waiting to hear something, like hearing it for the first time with y'all. This, and maybe Sharon, I don't know. You tell me, Sharon. This is perfect, especially based on the things that we were talking about, maybe on the last show, or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's energy. That's energy, because this is a conversation that I had with my boy Chris when we were in the ice bath. So he, I was telling y'all a story when I did that plunge, like, yo, this ice bath that crazy. I was like 30 seconds and I'm like, yo, I got to get out of here. If we do not continuously challenge ourselves and go for hard, go for the things that we hate. What was the show topic? I think it was the last show, right? Hate me now, love me later. Hate now, love later. This is exactly what we're talking about. We have to actively push ourselves in particular areas every day. Because if we don't, we're losing days on our lives, literally. Every day we have to do something challenging. Our brain is a muscle. It can either grow or shrink. The more we challenge ourselves, the more our brain is going to grow and be a stronger muscle. So I don't know about y'all, if y'all have any family members with dementia, or what's the Alzheimer's, all these mentally debilitating conditions, you will take heed to this, because there's nothing worse than seeing people that you love the most and looked up to the most as leaders and as some of the smartest people in your life revert back to a baby state, where you see that their brain is no longer operating at the capacity that it was operating before, maybe literally down to 1%, 1%, 2%, 3% of the brain capacity that they were using previously. I saw it with my nan. Queez, you said both suffer from dementia. My nan and my pop, actually. But my pop just passed away before it could really hit him, I feel like, as hard. And exactly what you just wrote, Queez, the shit is heartbreaking. There's nothing worse than that. And if there's things that we can do right now in our lives to put us in a better position to not have to have our family members experience that when they're looking at us, and if not only for that, but we can pass down this way of life that we constantly have to be challenging ourselves, and to embrace that, then what we're doing is we're literally saving, we're adding years to not only our lives, but the generations to come after us. We're improving the quality of life. Maybe that's the most important thing for everybody involved. Everybody. We're improving the quality of lives. And if it can come down to us just simply challenging ourselves mentally and pushing ourselves, and not to say all day, every day's got to just be one of these type of things, but if we can get into that mindset, it's going to help out tremendously. So for the next 30 seconds, think about some areas that we are going to challenge ourselves this weekend, committed to. 30 seconds. Let's go. And I may keep my eyes open because I'm looking at these stocks, but 30 seconds, maybe a fast one. Go. All right. Stock's about to open. Commit to those 30 seconds. Commit to what you thought about for 30 seconds. Onward and upward, strength and honor. Let's get to this big bag with integrity, of course. And y'all know what we're here to do. Elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, as well as doing what's necessary in our communities, building how we know we need to build. All right. So with that, I'll see y'all soon. I'll see y'all. Maybe may tap in with y'all on the weekend. If not, I'll see y'all on Monday. Ew. Oh, nah, these stocks is going